Hello, welcome back to LIVENODING. This episode, I want to share the breakdown of this geometry node setup that I created. It was inspired by some kind of fashion design, and I thought the effect is quite hypnotizing and mesmerizing. So I thought I will just recreate this inside Blender with geometry nodes. So if you can already guess what it is, you can try rebuild this yourself, but I will share the breakdown anyway. So it's as you can already tell, it's a bunch of spiraling things that's being instanced on the surface of something. Yeah. So let me reduce the complexity. So maybe leave it. Okay, make it like this. Okay, you can kind of tell. I started with the default cube, and then I just subdivided it. So this with the default cube, there's a bunch of spiraling things being instanced on the surface of the cube. If I increase the subdivisions, of course the cube becoming more like a sphere, and I can further randomizing it by merging it by the distance. But anyway, I scatter a bunch of spiraling things on top of a cube, and that's actually really simple, right? The spiraling, let's start with the spiraling thing first. So this is the instance objects. It's basically like a spiral that's rotating. Let me hide this first. Okay, a spiral. You probably, time to time again, you will use a spiral nodes. It's very useful. For this one, I just have it rotating like that. So you can create this like a in analog fashion. If you can create like a mechanical objects like a robot or like a real objects that you can rotate like this, you can do that. Oh, so a spiral, I can control the parameters for the spirals. I can increase the rotations, decrease, whatever. I think I could actually add this as a variables. The end and start radius can be controlled. It will give different effects for the final result. All I have control here is just to rotate it with transform geometry. So it's very simple. Plug a value on the z-axis. You can reverse it if you want to, or just reverse the time value. So you have this, and then so all we need to do is just to instance it on a surface, on any surface. In this case, just a cube that I subdivided, and I use distribute points on faces. So this is just if it's not too random, it's gonna look like this. You can randomize this even further, but I just use subdivision, increase the subdivisions, and then I just instance it on points with the rotations coming from this node, so it's all facing the right way instead of making this kind of like a kebab looking thing. Rotations, and then I randomize the rotation slightly on the instance. So I use tau divided by 2, so you get 3.14 or something. Okay, rotate it in local space, realize instances. What I couldn't do, I tried using scale instances actually. I tried using scale and tried to randomize the height of this spiral. It's supposed to work, but the strange thing is it doesn't actually work. It's gonna turn it into a stick. Maybe that's the limitation of the spiral. But you can always have multiple spinning curve. You can have multiple spinning curve of this. Okay, let's say this is our object, right? Our sculpture. We can have multiple of these with random height, with random rotations. So, and then you can group this, control G. Oh, actually, yeah. Command G. Okay, doesn't work. Just create a new collections. Put this into collections. So when we instance, we can use collections info, grab our collections, separate children, reset children, instance the objects, plug this there, pick the instance. So we have more variations that way. If you increase the density, okay, that's because we are using this method of randomizations, increase the subdivisions, maybe. Yeah, so the final effects is really quite hypnotizing, like some kind of creatures from under the oceans, pretty aliens looking. I mean, it's basically like a spiral. If you can randomize the spiral even further, you can actually have a better setup on this. This one is the radius. You can also randomize the radius, right? The effect is quite organic somehow, even though it's really simple. Speed, for the speed, and look at the rotations. Yeah, I don't know, just have a bit more, a couple more of this. I think this is a good demonstration of it's basically nothing, right? It's just a spiral, but it's very effective in creating this kind of illusions of organic and hypnotizing thing. In nature, you can find this quite a lot. So the instance, you can, instead of using cube, you can use anything, including the donuts. Okay, donut itself is made of circle, two circles connected together. I don't know, and let's just, whoa. I think I made a mistake in making too many strands of objects, so it might crash. But anyway, the donuts, you can instance this spiraling thing